Welcome back to the Journaling Soul. On this episode, we will discuss how not to shower for 14 days. Just kidding. This journal will be about your most rewarding experience in life. And yes, mine has to do with not taking a shower for 14 days. Before we begin, go right ahead and like this video, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and share with a friend. Also, turn on your notifications for future videos. So once upon a great time ago, aka not too long ago, not even it hasn't even been a year, I had the amazing opportunity to go to Africa. So I'm gonna tell you all about it and how I ended up not taking a shower for 14 days. This was not part of the plan. I thought I was going glamping, but there was no glamping in this experience. Okay, so I signed up for this trip because I actually used to live on the other side of the globe. I'd never been to Africa and I wanted to go so bad, and it would be slightly cheaper because I was already on that side. So I saw this backpacking trip online and thought, okay, this would be perfect. Psych. Like, I don't even run, I don't even work out. I don't know what I thought backpacking was, but when I got there, I found out that it was not what I thought it was. So I didn't want to be in some fancy hotel. I wanted like the real African experience, but I also didn't want to be outside either. And boy, was I up for a rude awakening. So I signed up for this trip, and it sounded like we would be camping. I'm thinking, okay, I've been camping before, I've been on a campsite. I thought we would be going out during the day, then head back in before nightfall. And I'm like, oh, cool, perfect. Yeah, Man, was I bamboozled. I should have known that this would be a horror story because my flight was delayed not once, not twice, but three times. Yes, three times. So I'm sitting there at the airport and I get this call on my cell, and someone calls me from Qatar to tell me that my flight would be delayed. That call cost me, an arm and a leg, by the way, that I was unaware of, and I complained to the airline and I never heard back from them. So that's a shame. So after the first call came, a flight attendant who came to everyone in my seating area and said the flight has been canceled for. It was originally supposed to be at 7 p.m. They're like, okay, it's gonna be canceled for. When I got that call, it said 10 p.m. Now this flight attendant is telling me 2 a.m. I'm like, 2 a.m. Really, really, 2 a.m. Okay, so I was like, you got to be kidding me. Then at 2 a.m., oh yeah, we're gonna get on that flight all right. Okay, yeah. No. We were told that the flight was canceled and that we were to fly out later that day. So at 8 p.m. and that they would give us hotel vouchers for the night, well, morning now. It's 2 a.m. so we can go to bed and get breakfast in the morning. So I'm like, okay, at least I don't have to pay for the hotel because this trip is already expensive. Going to Africa is not cheap. It's not cheap at all. And it breaks my heart because some people are from Africa and they should go just to experience it, but it's so expensive. And so, well, everyone's from Africa, but it's so expensive. But fast forward after 2 days in the hotel, I'm just like, thank God this is free. I don't have to pay for it. Yes, 2 days later, not that 8 p.m., 2 days later. So I'm finally on a flight to Qatar, then from Qatar to Africa. And I'm like, okay, this is honestly, I just want to get this trip over with. This is not what I expected. But of course, when traveling, things don't always go as expected. So I'm like, cool, I'm just going to go with the vibes. I can't fight anything or anyone. Like, I have to go with the flow. And I'm just going to do what I have to do. So I get to Africa and I'm in this line to check in. This is Tanzania, by the way. I'm in a line to check in for like 5 hours, people. 5 hours. They're like, oh yeah, we have this new check-in policy, this new check-in system, and it's supposed to be more efficient. More efficient. When I got out of there, people were telling me, yeah, I came before and I got out in 30 minutes. How is this more efficient when people are now spending now 5 hours in line? So whatever, Tanzania. And then they're like, the guy at the desk or whatever try to give me his number and was like, WhatsApp me and call me. I'm like, this is so unprofessional, but whatever. I'm tired. I just need to find out where I'm going and just, I'm jet lagged. I'm tired from the 5 hour line. Like, I just need to get in a bed or something. So then I go out finally after 5 hours, and the person who's supposed to pick me up, of course, a strange guy, not one but two strange guys that I don't know. It's about, let's say, 3 or 4 p.m. And I'm like, okay, the hotel that I'm going to be in is right around the corner. Cool. They're like, oh, yeah, it's not too far from here. Okay. Let me tell you what's not too far from here. 2.5, almost 3 hours later, as we're driving. And I kid you not, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's around the corner, all right. So then during that time too, I fell asleep and I was like, that was the dumbest thing to ever do. Please do not ever fall asleep no matter how tired you are. I was like, I could have been kidnapped, organ trafficked. Not to say that that can't happen anywhere here in the States. Whenever, even if you're in an Uber, do not fall asleep, people. I was by myself, but I trusted God and I trusted that I would be safe. And I was super tired, and we were driving for a really long time. I'm not kidding you all. It was not the around the corner that they said it was. I was super tired and just took a nap. I was like, I don't know how many roads we can take turns around anymore. It's the corner has long been gone that we knew that we were around, and so I'm just gonna just put my head down. But that's not what happened. I ended up dozing off, and never ever do that. That was stupid. I was by myself. That was extremely stupid. So then we finally get to the hotel, and it was a beautiful hotel. Amazing. I enjoyed the scenery. I was greeted respectably. I got my room, and I had the room to myself. Of course, I paid for it. And I just took a shower, which was it was very different. Although I've been on that side of the globe, and the bathrooms are very different than the United States bathrooms. There was no like wall between the shower and the toilet. There was just a hole in the ground for the shower, and I was like, okay, but I'm used to it at this point. So I take my shower. Little did I know that would be the last shower that I took. Well, no, I took a shower that morning too, because something told me to just be careful. Little did I know the shower that I took that morning would be the last shower that I would take for 14 days. And so I gathered my stuff. Apparently, I bought too much because I had two like travel size luggages, but we just needed this huge backpack to just put our things in. So I bought too much. So I had to like kind of figure out what would go in the backpack, what would go in the travel size bags, and what would stay, what would come with me. And so I had to figure that out too during the night. And I'm like super excited. I'm like, okay, but I don't know why I can't just take these two suitcases to the quote unquote campsite, because I thought there was a campsite. Oh yeah. So then I get there in the morning and I meet one of the guys who drove me there the night before. And after taking my last shower that morning, yes, my last shower, and I'm told my backpack is too small, so now I have to get one of their huge backpacks. He has to go back to the location, their center, which I didn't get to go to, and get me a backpack. So little did I know this is going to cost me $50 when I just to rent their backpack. When I bought one for $50 plus already, I'm like, oh my gosh, this trip is becoming extremely expensive. So I'm like, okay, cool. It's not that bad, Yeah, $50. I'll figure it out. Okay. So he comes back. We're waiting for another probably hour or so. I guess I have to now get in the car with him and the other guy again to drive to the campsite, quote unquote campsite that's around the corner. Yeah, again, you all know how this around the corner thing goes. It was not around the corner. This one was about 4 hours. Yes, 4 hours. I was driving with these guys that I don't know in a country that I don't know for 4 hours. Yes, 4 hours, people. So, it's almost like 2 p.m. I think we left the hotel around maybe 11 or noon. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know if I'm feeling this trip anymore. I want to turn back around, but okay, but I'm here. How am I going to turn back around? That's not happening. So turning around is not possible at this point. I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to endure. This is an experience. So I have to experience it. So then I get to the quote unquote campsite that I think I'm going to be going back to for 14 days and then going out, during the day and coming back at night. No. So I get there and I meet my team that I'm going to be backpacking with. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, cool. They're like, sorry you missed yesterday. We met these cool indigenous people. And I'm like, that's all I came for, the people, the indigenous people. But, I guess it wasn't meant to be. So I jump right in. We have lunch. Well, they had some lunch sitting there from they already ate. And they were like, oh, they're just going to prepare dinner. And that day I did get to meet one indigenous tribe. So after eating lunch, they were already on their way, but since I came, they kind of stayed a little later. And then I ate, and then we went and met the tribe. They were pretty cool, headed back to camp and ate dinner. And they're like, yeah, time for training so we can train you how to pack your bags and get ready for tomorrow. And I'm like, aren't we coming back to these bags though? Why do we need to pack them? I just packed mine at the hotel. Like, what's this whole big deal about packing this backpack with everything? Aren't we coming back? Yeah, no. Nobody told me we were not coming back, you all. I'm new to backpacking. I don't know anything about it. I've done camping, but backpacking, I was like, I thought that was kind of like camping. So I guess, was kind of my misunderstanding of what backpacking was too. So I get there and I'm like, okay, cool. We're packing these bags. I'm thinking we're coming back, but those who've done it before, the team guides, is about three of them. Yeah, they're no. And I guess they might have sensed that some of us didn't really know what backpacking was, aka like myself. So they kind of told these tales like, yeah, tomorrow we're just going to be hiking over, backpacking over the mountain. And then, yeah, there's going to be a water hole and blah, 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 blah. So they're not giving too much detail. They're just like, okay, we're going to get to this water hole. And I'm like, okay, so, right, tomorrow we're going to get to this water hole. No, no. So the next morning we wake up, we prepare, we have to put our other bags, because apparently they give us bags for our things that we don't need, so we can put them in this truck, the truck that I came in, that I drove in for 4 hours, and then 2 hours that was supposed to be around the corner, that was not around the corner. So here I am putting my stuff, everyone's putting their stuff into these two trucks. And I'm like, why are we putting our stuff into these trucks? Aren't we coming back to this site? Like, no, yeah, what? Something's off, and I'm not getting the whole truth here. So they're like, yeah, just put your backpacks on. We're gonna start heading out in a few minutes, and yeah, you'll get your stuff. You'll see it tonight. I'm like, that tonight wasn't a very short tonight. Okay, so I get to hiking. Day one. It's hot. It's sweaty. I'm like, okay. What's going on here? I don't see people. I don't see any water around. We're carrying water on our backs, and I'm thinking, okay, that's cool. We're just gonna refill them at the water hole. And okay, we're walking and walking, and I'm like, it's literally that SpongeBob 2 hours later. Like, hello? Where's this water hole? Where are we going? So I'm backpacking and we get there that night and I'm like, listen, this is my first time. Nobody told me that we are going to be backpacking, walking for like 5 hours. I was not ready for this. I was not ready at all. So we get there to the first campsite, since starting the hiking trip. And there's like a little spring there or whatever. But it's not crystal clear water. There are some areas where the water is clear, and I'm like, I'm supposed to drink out of this? Okay, I'm guessing so because I've filtered out all the water in both of my water bottles, and I've drank them. So, where else am I supposed to get this magical clean water? It's not happening. So here I go. This is the water I'll be drinking. And so I'm like, oh, we can definitely get in this and shower, right? Oh yeah, but it's about to be nighttime. So yeah, maybe not tonight, maybe in the morning. And I'm like, okay. Why do you sound like you're not so sure? Like, or sound like that's not going to happen? So we enjoy the night. Morning comes and it's like, oh, we only have like 30 minutes to get ready. Pack your bags and get ready for our next hike. Yeah, the water hole is like over the mountain or whatever. Like, excuse me, you told me that I would be able to shower this morning. I wake up, you're telling me have breakfast, hurry up, I have 30 minutes or whatever, and I can't shower or whatever, bathe, whatever it is that I can do in this stream of water because there's no shower head. And so I'm like, okay, okay, this is day one without a shower. I went to bed sweaty and stinky. Thank God I bought some wipes and I was able to wipe myself down. But now I have to carry these wipes because we are not leaving any trace. So, all right, we're gonna be birth baiting. Okay, I see here, but that's okay. It's only one day, of course. Okay, we hike for like 8 hours. Yes, 8 hours to the next campsite that day. Guess what's not there? Uh-huh, yeah, the water hole or shower, whatever it is we're supposed to have to be able to take a shower. It's not happening. It does not exist. So here I am getting extremely disappointed at this point. And I'm like, listen, I think I'm being sold a dream. It's not happening. Okay, we get to that campsite and then next morning we wake up. I'm like, okay, maybe we'll see the water hole today and I'll jump in and just take a nice shower. And one of the guys goes, and there's the water hole we were telling you about, but there are animals over there and we don't want to disturb them, so we're just going to keep on hiking or backpacking. I'm like, excuse me, sir. Um, earlier today it seemed very promising that I would be able to take a shower or something, but now you're telling me there are animals over there and I'm not going to be able to do that? Oh no. I'm being lied to. So something's not right. So this goes on for like, oh my gosh, 7, 8 days. It was treacherous. It was hard. It was the most hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Honestly, it was extremely difficult. Outside of being extremely tired, I do have asthma, so I was pumping like crazy because this was not expected, and you know, and at first I thought I was like making it more difficult for my team, but as the trip went on, they're like, "No, we're glad you're like being very vocal about what you're experiencing because honestly, we wanted to say the same things, but we didn't know how to say it. Like, we want to know when we're going to shower too. We want to know why we're, going so fast. Can we slow down? We want to know, how steep the summit is and things like that." And I'm like, okay, because no one was saying anything. So I felt like I was being like, what's the word? A difficult person on this trip. No one's saying anything, but they're like, no, thank you. Like, you're speaking for all of us, which I hate, by the way. I hate when people don't vocalize themselves and then they want to whisper in my ears, like, oh my gosh, yeah, you're speaking for all of us, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, cool, whatever. But can you guys speak too? So that way they get it. And I get it. We're in the middle of nowhere with all these wild animals. Yes, wild animals. Like, we slept in tents. So we had hyenas come around our tents. We had like so many cool animals. It was amazing. It was a cool experience. Don't get me wrong. And I'm forever grateful for it. And this is why this is the most rewarding experience of my life because not too many people in their lifetime will ever get to say that they did something like that. Like be able to sleep in a wild with amazing animals, hyenas, buffaloes, lions, and there are just so many great animals. And I just had such a great time. Although I did not shower for 14 days, I enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed being able to do something that I can go and tell my grandkids that I did, And yes, I was disappointed not having a shower for 14 days. And so we're going and we're stopping and we're backpacking from campsite to campsite. And let me tell you all, it got drier and drier and drier. And when you did find a water hole, like it'll be so bad because this is the only water hole around and there are animals around. So this is where they poop. This is where they do everything. So you're like, yeah, I don't want to shower there. And they would cook our meals with it. I'm like, I guess I'm not eating tonight. Like, oh my God. I did not plan for this. I didn't know that this kind of experience existed. But again, I'm very grateful for it. And I was just like, I'm not ready. But even throughout me doing that and saying that during the 14 days, saying I'm not ready, so we finally get to a real campsite that I thought should have been our initial campsite to begin with. And there's a shower, a real life shower, like with a shower head. And mind you, I was in there for like 2.5 hours. I'm like, I'm getting every nook and cranny. I don't care. I'm washing my hair. I'm washing my underarms like 5 times. My lady parts, I'm just washing. I know. Like, I need to wash. Like, this is not what I expected. But then in that moment, I was also being enlightened. Of course, for 14 days, I don't have my phone. I don't have anyone disturbing me. I'm not driving myself crazy. I have no stress. What can I stress out about? Like, bills? Really? No, I'm outside. Nature is free. Like, there was nothing to stress out about. And, you know, realizing that I was not showering for 14 days, but I'm gaining other things, a peace of mind, relaxation, meeting new people and doing this with strangers. One thing you'll find out about me, and I'll share this as I do more videos, is me and my family, there's a lot of family enmeshment. And so I'm giving myself within this year, next year, for the rest of my life, just the ability to do things with strangers, meet strangers, go places with strangers. It doesn't always have to be my family members. I realized that I was struggling to get out of my family's setting everywhere. I feel like I just always had to be with my family and that was the safest place to be. But that's not always true. And you can get to meet other people. We have such a beautiful world full of beautiful people and beautiful animals. And yeah, there are some people who are just cold hearted and rude and disgusting and pure demons, but we also have angels on earth. And so being able to sit around someone else who's not your family member that you've never met before, share such an experience. And I loved my tent mates. They would laugh at me every night when I would try to use my wipes, as I'm dimming down to like 0 wipes just to clean my face and my lady parts. One of them was, she's just laughing like, oh my gosh, you are like serious. She's like, I feel you, but I'm so tired. I can't even like wipe down this feeling of disgust. Trust me, like it's been 4 or 5 days, 6 days, and she's like, I don't even feel it anymore at this point. I'm just gonna go to sleep. And she would always just nod out very peacefully. And I can have asked for better tent mates and a better team. Like, I really enjoyed that experience. I met amazing people, seen animals that, wow, I'm glad to say, and to see them in their wild habitat. I can go to the zoo, I can go to all these places, which I try my best not to go to, and, visit these animals there, but see them in their natural habitat was way better. And it kind of prepared me for coronavirus, being quarantined, and what it is that we're experiencing now. Like, a lot of you are having a hard time just being in their environments. And they used to have this place that they can go away from, to be away from their homes, but they're stuck there. So I was stuck in that tent. I was stuck in that campsite, or dry campsite. There was nowhere to go. There wasn't a shopping mall, there wasn't a Starbucks. I was stuck. The safest place was in my tent with my tent mates around my team. Yeah, we would like go, a little bit off to go, use the toilet, quote unquote. There was no toilet, whatever. We just, there was a hole. You shoot it down there and you just bury it when you're done. And so, it was an experience that I'm forever grateful for. I learned so much about myself. Just like now in quarantine, I'm learning even more about myself, starting this YouTube channel and getting to this point where I feel confident in my skills because now there are no jobs, you know? You think you're going to go into this place and you're going to be promised something, but no one's giving anything. They're like, yeah, I don't even have it for myself. And just like in that moment, I'm there not showering for 14 days. I'm like, oh my gosh, just praying and praying that a shower will come. It's the same in quarantine. You're just praying and praying that opportunity will come. It doesn't have to be the job that I had prior to. It's just an opportunity for me to just be safe and sound, at peace with myself and the world around me. And of course, being giving during this time, I've of course had the opportunity to. I've chosen to work in at a supermarket, and I see people paying for other people's groceries, and that makes me feel really good because, like I said, there are still angels on earth, and there's still beauty on earth. There's just so much around us that even the little things that try to distract us, like the internet or not showering for 14 days, you look at those distractions and you say, you know what, I'm not going to let you get the best of what it is that I'm experiencing here. Like, life is beautiful. There are definitely tough times throughout that backpacking trip. I've never backpacked before in my life. I've done camping, but not backpacking, and it was tough. And they later on told me that, you pushed through even with asthma. I've known people with your condition who, they had to be helicoptered out. I'm like, what? Nobody told me that I could be helicoptered out. Had they told me, I would have done it. And they're like, well, we were glad we didn't tell you because you honestly were like, a great person to be around during this trip. And I was like, you know what? I'll take that in. I'll take that as I was meant to be here and experience the whole thing. So you know what? I'm not even mad anymore that no one told me that I can take a helicopter out and back to civilization because I did have a great experience. It was crazy intense. But that's what life is about. You're going to go through your ups and downs and rough patches. We had very steep summits and we had some flat lands that we walked on. It's not going to always be flat and easy. Sometimes it's going to be steep and hard, and you're going to have to figure out how to go around it. You're going to have to make decisions sometimes alone, like when should I take a sip of water? When should I take a water break? Like my teammates, they look like they're trying to get to the next site. Should I stop? I don't want to stop. Everyone's not going to be happy if I stop. But then I learned, like, hey, I need water. I'm thirsty, so I'm going to take a break. But also wanted to be a team player. And I also had to make those calls and say, hey, team, let's drink some water together. And of course, I wasn't the only one making those calls because I was not the only one who was thirsty. It was a very dry area. Tanzania is very dry, so we were extremely thirsty all the time. But I'm just grateful for that experience, and that is the most rewarding experience of my life. Definitely a story to tell my kids, my grandkids, and it's definitely one that keeps me motivated. If I can make it through that time period, I can make it through anything. Not showering for 14 days. Yeah, I don't hope to do that ever again. I did enjoy backpacking. It's one of those things kind of when it's over, you kind of miss it and you're sad. So I do want to do it again. I know I sound crazy, but I do want to do it again in my lifetime. But I think I'm going to do a shorter days, maybe like 3 days or a week. I know a week is pushing it, but I definitely enjoyed it, and I definitely felt like it changed my life. It definitely changed my life. It was a reward for me that I gave to myself. It was a gift for my 26th birthday to myself, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to more great times like that. More rewarding experiences. It definitely was a costly one, but it was worth it. And I think you can get those kind of experiences every day, just being with family and friends and doing things that you enjoy. I didn't grow up with a very celebratory family, but I know people who do, and every day is a reward for them because they get to be with family and they celebrate everything. Like, I don't know, someone bought a new pen. Let's celebrate. And I'm like, oh wow, that's cool. That's different, but it's cool. And they're just celebrating life and celebrating the rewards of life. And it's always good to just be able to do that. And not showering for 14 days definitely was my trophy, my accolade to put up because I will not ever do 14 days again. Okay. not happening. But thank you all for listening.
Don't forget to like and comment on this video. I really enjoy getting feedback from you all. Let me know how you feel about the content that I am putting out. Also, comment below on journaling topics that you would like for me to discuss. Your ideas can be how-tos or topics that you're interested in me making a journaling video about.
Also, if you would like to share your response to a journaling topic that I discussed with you all, feel free to do so. This is a great way to start your very own YouTube channel simply by just responding to my video discussions. I look forward to hearing what you all have to say. Just simply tag your link below in a comment, and I'll take a look and be your very first subscriber. So let's take an opportunity to take a breathing break. If you're new to my channel, breathing breaks are an opportunity for you to relieve any stress or anxiety you might have picked up throughout the session, or if you might have had before the session. And it's an amazing way to just take in all that energy, hold it in a breath, and then release that breath. And we're going to start off by a 15-second breath. We do interval breaths where we hold them for a certain amount of time, and this time we're going to do 15 seconds. So I'm going to count. We're going to take a deep breath in through our nose, hold that for 15 seconds, and then release through our mouth slowly. A rapid breath in, a slow breath out. Okay, so let's take that breath in. Okay, and hold that for 15 seconds. 14, 13, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release that breath slowly through your mouth. So let's take a moment, but only if you want to step away from our journaling platforms and take a reading break. So if you're new to my channel, reading breaks are an opportunity for us to step back and read what it is that we've written already or recorded or video recorded. And so it's an opportunity for you to reflect about your feelings and your thoughts so far. So, and don't erase anything because it takes away from the authenticity. I always say that, and we want to keep it authentic. But that whenever you decide to look back at your video or listen back at your audio or read what you've written, you're able to feel those feelings again and just go in there. And if you've healed from those, to realize that, wow, I've healed. If you haven't, to realize as well, I haven't healed. And to just be able to grow from that experience. So do not erase anything and continue to process what it is that you have written or recorded. And then once you've done that, now begin to clear your mind of what it is you have just read or seen or heard. And take a moment to roll right into our breathing break. Thank you all for joining me and listening to this very interesting episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your notification bell so that you'll know every time I post a video. Join the Journaling Soul on Anchor Podcast as well so that you can listen on the go. Also, share your video responses with me. I would love to see your responses as we heal through journaling together.